Okay, I'm joined now by former senior deputy DA in Orange County, California, and author of the Book of Murder, A Prosecutor's Journey Through Love and Death, Matt Murphy. Matt, you always know what's up when stories like this break. I mean, this is your neck of the woods, California, right there, Riverside County as well. Do the charges line up with what you're seeing so far? The early statistics, the early information, the early evidence that we know of, and suddenly these few charges that are starting to drib and drab out?
They do, Ashley. This is look, no body case is one of the biggest misconceptions out there, is that you cannot prosecute a case without a body. And there are jurisdictions in the United States where prosecutors even think that a jury will never come back. I've prosecuted 5 murder cases successfully with no bodies. So juries never want to give the benefit to the bad guy, to the killer, of successfully getting rid of human remains, especially when you're talking about a little boy like this. What's interesting is the 1109. That was a legislative evidence code that was enacted several years ago in the state of California that allows what's called propensity evidence. And because the dad had a previous conviction for this, I can tell you right now, they provided notice to that. That evidence is coming in. The defense is going to fight it tooth and nail, but it's coming in. The court's going to allow it. It will be upheld on appeal. And that's incredibly powerful corroborative evidence concerning Jake Haro. And that is good. But I'll tell you another thing. They have forensically gone through every device, every phone. I guarantee everything that they were able to seize from the Haros. And there is certainly evidence that we have not heard yet. And remember, there are ethical constraints on the prosecution regarding what they can release publicly, especially on a case like this. And one of the things I just wanted to point out, everybody's been referring to the jumpsuit as an orange jumpsuit. And I think you said orangey red. The color of the jumpsuit in Southern California is actually very significant. That's a red jumpsuit, which indicates that he's what's known as a total SEP. In custody, he's been separated from all other prisoners because of the notoriety of this case and out of fear that he is probably at risk of assault by other inmates. Just his background alone would put him high on the list of assault because other prisoners in general population will often retaliate against people that hurt kids.
A total SEP, S-E-P, right?
Total SEP, as in total separation,
wow.
Right.
That's interesting. I didn't realize that the bright red is significant in that respect. Thank you for that. I always learn something from you, Matt. Filing a false police report, that is one of the new charges against Jake Haro. But I just feel like a lot more charges are coming down the pike. Can you go over what he's facing now and what you think he may face in the future, as well as what Rebecca may face in the future, other than murder?
Well, that's one of the tough things about California, and you and I discussed this on your pod yesterday. The second-degree murder, which is what this is in the state of California, you get a parole hearing in 12 years. Filing a false police report is something, all the lies that she certainly told the police, and probably he, we don't know exactly what he said in his interview, but that is the type of thing that it can add maybe a little bit of time, but you're still talking about a misdemeanor. So even if the court were to sentence what's called full consec, you're only talking about an additional 12 months. So it really doesn't add much. And I think that they are somewhat limited here, especially without human remains, because we don't know the exact circumstances of the death, at least publicly yet. Sadly, Ashley, the answer to your question is not very much. I don't see a whole lot in the way of additional charges. I mean, they could theoretically go for a conspiracy, but that's going to do what's called 654 in the state of California, or merge into the murder. Conspiracy to commit murder and murder are going to have the same sentence in California. So the court would only be able to sentence on the greater, which would be the murder itself. I doubt that this was planned baby deaths, and I've prosecuted several baby death murders over the course of my career as well. And they're almost always rash, emotional decisions. When the kid poops after clean diapers or breaks something, you see these really emotional, brash decision. So you're not going to get a first-degree murder out of this. And unless there's some sort of torture allegation, there really is not going to be much more. Maybe if they find the body. Now, we don't know what anybody said. The fact that they're on the side of the road is, of course, significant because the Riverside County Sheriff's and the DA's office that are very good at this, they know what they're doing on these cases. They certainly have some additional evidence, whether that's from the cell phones, statements of Mr. Haro. At this point, we just don't know, and we might not know for a while, but they got something else that made them feel confident enough to pull the trigger, so to speak, and charge them both with murder.
I noticed here on Jake's booking sheet, it's been updated to include 2 weapons charges and willful harm of a child, but he hasn't been formally charged with that, so we'll be watching to see what happens with that. I'm really interested to hear what you think about Rebecca's little jailhouse interview suggesting we should all be out there Susan Smithing, watching for her babies. Is that going to come back to haunt her? And I've only got about 30 seconds, but like, how dumb was that?
100% it's going to come back and haunt her because at some point she's going to blame him. I guarantee it. I absolutely guarantee it. And so that jailhouse interview, somewhere behind the scenes here, Ashleigh, there's a lawyer who is probably today getting assigned to that case that is pulling their hair out because of that stupid jailhouse interview. That absolutely is going to come around and bite her. And and it's going to, some poor lawyer is going to have to try to dig her out of that mess. And I don't think they're going to succeed.
Matt Murphy, always good to have you. Thank you so much for this. So appreciate it.
Happy to be here as always, Ashleigh.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.